Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday, March 23rd, our 5th day of yoga. We have got both of my little babies with us today. This is Yogi, and this is little Yodi. Hey, monkey. So as I'm setting us up, take a minute to come into your normal breath. We will be starting on our knees today in a Vajrasana position, otherwise known as a thunderbolt. If this is not comfortable, of course, you can sit on your bottom. Make sure your hips are nice and balanced. Keep your strap nearby. Have your nice, beautiful, relaxing music on, whatever other props and accessories you need. And just take a minute to come into your breath. Trying to slow down to a natural pace, inhaling deeply through the nose. And as you exhale, extending twice as long as your inhalation. Follow your breath. Come into tune with the rhythm of the systems of your body. We all have a lot on our minds. We all have a lot going on. Use this time to focus on your breath. If you do find your mind wandering and coming to your list of things to do, or your list of anxieties, or list of dreams and aspirations, come back to your breath. Come back to your body. You may also want to set an intention for yourself, whether it's for this class, for this day, for this shift that we are all in together. And breathe. Once you've found your regular normal breath, let's really begin to focus on the diaphragm. So inhaling, imagine you have a balloon in your belly, and extend out as far as you can. Find all the peripheries of your belly. Outward, forward, your belly button should be touching the skin. Backwards towards the spine. Feeling the side body lengthen. Feeling the ribs also start to expand. That elasticity in the rib cage is meant specifically for the depth of breath. Challenge yourself to go deeper. With every breath, your body becoming softer, more and more relaxed. And breathe. Coming down into your body. And on your next inhale, when you are ready, let's inhale both arms up, shoulders down, eyes and the elbows open, tips of the fingers together, and exhale forward. We're going to come into a child's position. We're not going to stay too long. Thighs are together nice and tight. Walk the fingers forward as far as you comfortably can. Once you've found your edge, don't lift your bottom from your feet. Keep it down. Once you've found your edge, let your head hang down. If the forehead does not comfortably touch the floor, you can bring in a block or a pillow, anything to let that space relax. There's a lot of pressure that gets built up here at the front Ajna chakra. In the Western anatomy, of course, this is where the thymus, the various glands will reside. And when we press into that spot, just get a bit of relaxation, get a bit of activation. And any individuals who do follow the Hindu religion, and they do put a bit of a dot there, often that dot is made of a chemical that is designed to penetrate the skin, the skull, the brain, and activate the pituitary, the pituitary gland. And when you're ready, let's stretch out the side body. So exhale, walking the hands over to the side, nice and slowly. Don't let your hips lift up. Keep them nice and squared all the way over as far as you can. Holding here for a moment. And feel the blood getting trapped in the bottom of your body. This is a a very good way to control circulation. Inhale, walking back to the other side, crossing the hands over, and again, really focusing on the side body and breathe. On your next inhale, walking the hands slowly forward and again up with a nice strike back and stretching out the legs a little bit. So starting with the left leg, bringing the knee and the toes in a nice alignment. This is the thinker position. So we're going to extend this a little bit into a few balances, or rather into a few twists, possibly some balances. If you feel like balancing, careful with your nose today. Put either a block or a pillow, or actually today we'll look at a few side balances. If you're not comfortable, of course, stay exactly where you feel within your availability. So inhaling, arms up, shoulders down, tips of the fingers together, and exhale, leaning forward. Again, this knee is going to angle out a little bit, but keep it pushing in, holding that space. If it's not comfortable, you can step out a little bit, and if it's really uncomfortable, just let that front leg come all the way down. We are going to come into a forward bend, so inhaling and extending, exhale forward. So again, once your fingers reach the floor, walk them forward. You can look down, bringing the chin to the chest, pushing into your hips, your heels, and inhale, let's open. Try to keep this elbow and shoulder in front of your shin. Inhaling, open, and exhaling. Bring the head down. And relaxing here for a few deep breaths. Remember, you have a balloon in your belly, drawing the oxygen in deeply. And on your next inhale, coming up, arms all the way up. Exhale, opposite arm forward. So opposite elbow to the opposite knee. Put a bit of a twist in there. And just looking behind you. If you'd like to come into a bind, that's fine. But looking behind you is absolutely perfect. So imagine both hands, one forward, one back. Your palms are spread again, pushing that elbow against the knee. Everything squeezing into the midline. If you'd like to come into a bind and keep your shoulder nice and deep and finding that space. And this is a very nice stretch for the hips and shoulders. That's the target. That's the culprit. Use your strap here or your belt if you have one. And if you feel very adventurous, gentle with your wrist, but you can come into a balance. So keeping that elbow on the outside of the rib and the other elbow on the hip. So really finding that space. Just let the balance tilt over. So falling, tilting, and then just lifting up nice and slowly. You can start to bring the legs out to find balance or keep them together. And coming back to center. What we do to one side, we always do to the opposite side. So opposite leg up, finding that line, knees and toes. Inhale, arms up, shoulders down, tips of the fingers together. Exhaling inside. Now again, if that's tight, find your comfort zone and swim. Coming forward, finding binding. Use your strap if you're comfortable. Ideally, we should be locking onto the wrists and breathing here. So you'll notice this warm-up is a little bit different than the other warm-ups we've done. We're going to flow a little bit more today. We are going to come up into a downward dog. We're not going to do too much other standing, maybe a few warrior variations, but nice and quick. Focusing on our holds, focusing on our yin. Inhaling up and exhale, opposite elbow to the opposite knee. Find that bit of torque, twist, and looking back. If your arms are open, this is a beautiful place to be. There's a lot of space, a lot of opening across the chest, a lot of dog hair in my mouth. If you'd like to find binding, again, coming through. Make sure that the elbow and the knee stay together. Sorry. Oh dear God. And of course, if you'd like to come into a balance, keep that elbows on the joints. Flatten your palms, nice and open, and exhale, coming down. Use your eyes for Trataka. Again, Trataka is your eye yoga. It helps with balance, helps with study, helps with concentration. Okay, when you're ready, let's come back to our knees and into a tabletop position. We'll start with a moon salutation today. So it's a little variation. Hey, little monkey. Little variation on our sun salutation. I thought it would be a nice place to start, whether it's night or day where you are. We haven't done a full vinyasa yet, so getting into that will help to get into our later, deeper positions. So sitting in Vajrasana, we're going to inhale, lifting both arms up, and find a back bend here. Shoulders down, squeeze your hips, or rather squeeze your buttocks, hips press forward. Inhale, and we're going to exhale with a nice straight back, arms forward, coming all the way down. So back to that childlike position. Keep your head up. Walk your fingers forward. Keep your chest down. We're going to find this puppy type of stretch. So with your bottom up high in the air, try to keep the chest down, walking your fingers forward. And again, this is a nice shoulder opener, a nice hip opener. Keep the shoulders down, away from the ears, and breathe. We're going to add a shoulder stretch into here. So on your next inhale, let's lift up slightly. Bring the left hand, looping it through, threading it all the way across, and coming down onto your shoulder and looking to the opposite direction. Hey, buddy. Holding here for 3 or 4 deep breaths. So our forward hand facing downward, our side hand, palm facing upward. And feel those arms stretching out. When you're ready, opposite side. So lifting just enough to get the arm out, and then opposite arm lifting just enough to get it through. Remember, you want to keep that side palm facing upwards and go in for a breath of dog face. And breathe. We're in a forward bend, so a sensation of submission coming across the body, accepting whatever's happening within you and without you. Relax the feet, relax the legs, pay attention to any sensations roaming around your soles of the feet. And when you're ready, let's inhale, come back up to center. And we're going to come back down onto our legs. So again, one more time. This time we'll take it a little bit deeper. So inhale, coming up, back bend, and exhale, nice straight back. Keeping the fingers down, walking the fingers forward. So now we're looking forward. We're not going to stretch the shoulders out this time. What we're going to do this time is come into a nice cobra slide. So with our hips up nice and tall, want to walk the fingers forward as far as you can go. Keep the elbows out to the side, and then crawling or sliding down and inhaling up. Oh boy. Good boy, Yogi. Good one. Okay, now we're going to reverse that whole thing. So let's lift our hips and coming back to that puppy or child position and letting the fingers edge back, inhaling, coming to a nice back bend, and exhale. That's one round. We'll do the same thing again. So inhaling up and exhaling down. Walk the fingers forward, let the hips lift. Keep the elbows open and sliding forward. Shoulders down while you're here. And then bending the elbows, sliding backwards. Let the arms follow. And inhale. And back bend with the hands coming through. Surya Namaskar. One more time. So inhaling up. And exhaling, palms coming face down. Inhale, lift the head, walk the fingers, feel the hips lifting, shoulders pressing down. Now this time we're going to round the back up. So rather than gliding, and you can do both, of course, but if we're nice and down, like we're going to just jump off for a race, let's come up with a nice rounded back this time. So pushing open hands, pushing that first knuckle into the ground, and inhale, keep the chin tucked into the chest, and exhale, let yourself just fall over. And again, reverse. So starting with the head, start to bring the chin down. The last thing to move is your tailbone. And finally, let your hips come up. And inhaling. And exhaling all the way down. Wonderful. Let's take a moment just to breathe here. That was a bit of a more intense warm-up. So come back to your breath, again, sitting in this Vajrasana position, unless it's terribly uncomfortable. And then you can either sit on a block in a little chair or, of course, sitting in a cross-legged position. We're going to explore the breath of fire, Kapalbhati, today. Kapalbhati is very good for the internal heat of the body, as well as reducing the stress. It, again, is another strategy to affect the chemical reaction within our bodies and really helps to reset. So what we're going to do is quick, fast breathing. If you get lightheaded, come down into a child's position. Okay. If you feel dizzy, if you feel nauseous, come down, put your forehead on the ground, make that connection. Okay. Otherwise, what we're going to do is really focus on the exhale. So as we exhale, we want to pull that belly button back as close as we can to the spine with one strong force, such as this. Okay, so exhaling through the nose. As we do so, the belly button and diaphragm will contract inward. We will do that repeatedly. If you can do this for 1 minute without stopping, every day, you will have amazing abdominal muscles. You don't need to really pressure yourself into crunches and interfere with your spine. You can work on this breathing technique. Okay, so I will demonstrate for a moment. Please join me when you're ready. We will try to go for about 1 minute. Okay, so when you're ready, inhaling nice and deeply. And I'll turn to the side so you can see a little bit. So just a forceful, continuous exhale. So and when you're done, one deep breath and one long exhale. Good boy, Yogi. You want to try again? So when you're ready, let's begin again. So nice deep inhalation. And when you're ready, and by now, probably you're starting to feel that abdominal workout. You can continue for as long as you like. And that is something very nice, again, to get that very quick chemical reaction change in your body. If you feel dizzy, of course, into your child's position. And when you're ready, let's meet together in a tabletop position. So in our tabletop, making sure that our hips ankles, get out of here, hips and knees, wrists and ankles, shoulders, everything in a nice alignment. Take a moment to stretch out your spine. So inhaling up, exhaling down, and really over-exaggerate this movement. Yodi, shh, hey, quiet. Over-exaggerate this movement. Really lift the chin. Remember that facial yoga exercise, keeping the shoulders down, changing the balance with the knees to the hands, and just playing. You can drop the hips to one side, to the opposite side. Just explore that space. And when you're ready, we're going to come into a balance. So beginning with left leg, right arm, or whichever you're comfortable with. Make sure you're reaching, breathing, strengthening, balancing, and stretching. When you are ready, let's dance. Exhale, knee to the nose, elbow to the ribs, nice and slowly. As I will always say every time we do this movement, the health of your spine is directly correlated to the quality of your life. The spine resonates through our entire physique. When you're ready and on your next inhale, we'll come into a binding, so bending the back leg, finding your foot or ankle and using the strap here if you'd like, and then coming up into a nice balance. And breathe here for a moment. And relax. Keep lifting. Keep that a little deeper now as we drop into shoelace. So folding the eyes of the elbows together, opening the feet, and letting the hips come back. And let's find ourselves sitting here for a moment. Sitting nice and tall, shoulders down, chest is open, belly is soft, breath is deep. Let's hold this for about 10 deep breaths. 9. 8. 7. This internal rotation of the femur bones, one of the most important things that we can be doing in our society, or our former society, rather. 4. Dropping the shoulders, lengthening the spine. Relax your hips, relax your legs, relax your feet. 2 more deep breaths. Beautiful. And when you're ready, let's begin to come out of this position. Shift the weight forward. Plant the hands down. That back leg's going to come up, out, over. I'm going to shift my position just so we can see with the side gate. So here again, nice long leg. Toes are facing forward. We'll start downward. So if your left leg is out, let's bring your right hand up. So inhaling and lift. Staying here for 1 deep breath. Exhaling, drop that arm down, opposite arm up. 1 deep breath. As we exhale down, let's bring the hand to the same foot, ankle, thigh, calf, wherever it lands, and inhale up. Now, as we come up, let your body naturally feel that glide, keeping the hips squared forward, shoulders forward. And remember, your mind, your consciousness, your focus is on the outer edge of that standing leg, reaching up nice and tall. And shifting the weight, coming into a nice long lengthening position. And here, if you'd like a challenge, feel free to lift your leg into various positions. Of course, you can always start to rely on this leg for strength and start to lift this leg up into various balancing positions. For today, this is where we're at. And when you're ready, let's exhale, come back to center, arms coming to center, and let that side leg come all the way to the front. So nice big step, exceeding our 90 degrees and coming into a lunge. Okay, so here, making sure that we get a nice length, back of the thigh, keeping everything pushed into the center. And we are going to stay here for about 1 minute. So get comfortable, use a block. This is one of the best hip openers that we can bring into our yin practice. If you would rather be a little bit more comfortable down on the ground, you can definitely build yourself up here with some pillows, but try to use the strength in this as well. We will be coming down into a pigeon in just a moment, so keep that in your mind as we hold this for another 40 seconds or so. Letting the head hang down, lengthening the spine, dropping the shoulders, relaxing the back. Keeping the foot pushing into the ground. Every point of physical contact you are making with the ground should be made with intention. Not just lying there. Push into that force. Feel if there's something pushing back. And breathe. On your next inhale, shifting the weight, lifting the foot, opening the back of the eyes of this knee. I call this the eyes of the knee. I guess I should say that on the first class, not the fifth class. Nonetheless, really feel that stretch through the back side of the leg. The back of the leg and the lower half of the body in general has a lot of yin meridians, yin meridian lines. And a lot of yin energy. And of course, yin is a more passive, slow energy compared to all the formerly fast-paced moving world that we used to have. The earth is now taking its breath and letting itself heal. Let's shift the weight forward. Walk the toes over. We're going to come into our pigeon position. So again, whatever variation you find of this, whether your heel is in nice and tight, whether your calf is in line with the angle at the top of the mat, whatever is up to you, whatever feels good, find your comfort zone. We're going to hold this for about 2 minutes. So inhaling, arms up, shoulders down, and exhale, guiding yourself down. Get comfortable, ladies and gentlemen. Find your edge. Use a block. If you'd like a block under the length of your straight thigh, anything that's going to help to balance out the hips. You do not want the hips to be compromised or unsymmetrical in this pose. So it's about 30 seconds. We got another 90 seconds to go. And just take the seat of the observer, my friends. What is happening in this body that you live in? Are you aware of all of those little caverns and caves? Scanning your consciousness through your body, releasing any tightness or tension, whether it be physical, mental, spiritual, or otherwise. And with your exhale, let it go. Develop that neural pathway of exiting any excessive thought. That's 1 minute into this position. By now, we are feeling the chemical reaction of the joints releasing the hyaluronic acid, feeling that shift. You feel that? Something different in the body. Breathe into that energy and relax. We're going to stay here for another 30 seconds. Taking one more deep breath here. When you're ready, let's inhale, just lifting the upper body, walking the hands closer to the leg. If you would like to come into the full swan position, or rather the next step, doesn't have to be full, just start to bend that leg up, okay? Let's reach back. Opposite hand can come in for balance. Reach back, same hand to the same foot. If you're able to grasp it, wonderful. Remember, you want to keep your hips balanced. And if you are able to get it, the best way to hold this is actually to rotate your hand around so that your fingers are pointing forward. It's a bit of a tricky move. You'll feel it in the thigh, but this is the best position to set up for the swan and the next variations of these back bends. So for now, let's exhale, come out, rolling onto our bottom. Find your butterfly. Let the butterfly flutter by, sitting up nice and tall, drop the shoulders down. Preparing to do the same thing on the opposite side. And when you're ready, this time keeping the right leg in. Oh no, I'm so sorry. We're gonna roll forward. So let's bring the knees together and find that playfulness, find that trust, find that no tension in the back, find that free self-massage technique. And once you're ready, let's come all the way forward, finding that squat, which we have found before. Feet are out at a 45-degree angle, elbows finding the inside of the knee. Let your spine lengthen, let your hips drop, let your tailbone drop. Pregnant lady and people who need to defecate need to know how to do this position. So get used to it, get comfortable here. And when you're ready, of course, you can come into your balance. Watch your nose. If you want to try the more difficult balance today, you have to come up, put your knees into your armpits from the side. And remember, your hands are nice and open, knees into the armpits. And again, just start to shift the weight forward and be gentle with your wrists. If you are coming into the balance, stretch the wrists out a little bit. Otherwise, let's come back into cat-cow. We'll do the same thing on the opposite side. Lining up the joints, lengthening the spine. When you are ready, you can do a few movements, rotations, whatever feels good. And opposite side. So lifting now, right leg. And if that's comfortable, please stay there. Otherwise, right leg, left hand. And the hand can be palm facing inward. Again, that first knuckle takes your mind's focus. Exhale, dance, knee to the nose, elbow to the ribs. Nice and slow, nice and controlled. Slow, steady, comfortable movements. This is the definition of asana. On your next exhale, or rather, on your next lift, let's come into a bind. So bending the feet, finding the ankle, the foot, the knee. Use your strap if you like. And lifting. Try to keep the weight in that first standing knuckle. Breathing here, feeling the belly dropping down. And exhale, find shoelace. Knees together, opening the feet, exhaling down, and we will hold this for 1 minute. So get comfortable, find your edge, and breathe. Feel the balloon in your belly, feel the barrel in your ribs, feel the porousness of your chest, your neck, your face. That's more than half time. You should feel the changes happening in the body and just observe the sensations without judgment, without expectation. Expect nothing, appreciate everything. And breathe, taking one last breath here. When you're ready, shifting the weight, back leg comes up, out, and over. So we're in this nice side gate position. Again, just for demonstrative purposes, I will turn my body. Opposite arm up. First knuckle, that's your weight, that's your focus. Consciousness is where? That's right, on the outside of that long lengthening foot. And exhale, drop the arm down, opposite, coming into a bit of a twist. Breathing, stacking the shoulders. Very important here to keep lengthening in the neck. Exhale, same hand to the same foot. And you can do the foot first. Come all the way down, and maybe as you lift, you feel that slide coming up. And just hold on where you think you can still get a bit of extra pressure here. Where is your mind? In the outside edge of your foot, in every molecule of your breathing body. And exhale all the way over. Nice long line with the body here. You can challenge yourself to come up in any way, shape, or form you would so like. And breathe. Bring your hands back forward, stepping in for our lunge, exceeding 90 degrees, and coming down. So again, use your block here. If your forehead does not come down comfortably, keep your body moving inward. We're going to hold this for 1 minute. So again, multitasking is not happening. Checking my phone for time is. Breathing here gently, let the head hang down. Shoulders down, away from the ears, pulling the midline in. And in this forward bend, we develop a habit of submission, of acceptance, of understanding that we don't know what is the beginning and what is the end. Understanding that we have very fragmented pieces of the whole picture. Having trust in the process. And knowing that we very much are alive within the universe and that whatever's happening within our energy vibrations has a very strong resonance with the planet, the universe, and of course, everyone else within that framework. That's 1 minute. So on your next inhale, let's gently lift, shift the weight, lift the feet, toes angling back towards the head, and just let the body hang forward for a moment. We'll stay here for a few breaths, not quite a minute. But still getting a chance to have the counter pose. It's important what we do to one side, we must do to the opposite. What we do in one direction, we must counterbalance. And breathing very deeply. When you are ready, shifting the foot over, coming into our pigeon position. So again, everybody will have a very different body here, very different ability. We live in chairs, ladies and gentlemen. It's a terrible, terrible way to be. It has been a terrible way to be. If you would like a little bit of a boost as well, you can put it under the bent knee, under your buttock, put it under your forehead, under the straight leg, wherever you feel there's imbalance in the body. And breathe through that. We're going to stay here for 2 minutes. And relax. Trying to find stillness. You are relaxed but active. Your hands are palms down. But with every breath, let those fingers walk forward. They are always combating the shoulders moving down. So that dual synchronous energy of lengthening and also dropping the shoulders, those things working together. Let the eyes of the elbow be that intermediary space that resolves the tension between the two. That's 1 minute in this space. 1 more minute remains. By now, you should feel the hyaluronic acid releasing from the joint. Feel that shift and observe what's happening in your body. Let go of any thoughts you may have. Breathing into the upper backs of the lungs, really focusing on moving any stagnant air and stagnant energy through the body. And relax. Taking 1 more deep breath here. And when you're ready, inhaling, lifting the head, walking the hands. If you're comfortable here, this is absolutely fine. This is quite of a challenge, trying to get a back bend in there as well. If you'd like a deeper bend, you can start to bend the straight leg. Same hand to the same foot. Pulling the leg in, and then moving your hands. So angling your hands forward. If it's comfortable, if not, use a strap. And breathe into this position. And releasing. Bringing the leg back. Moving through a tabletop just for a moment. And we're going to come into our first downward dog of our sessions. Downward dog is a position of relaxation, although it tends to be a bit strenuous in the beginning. Best way to start this, again, focusing on those open palms. First knuckle takes the weight. Thumbs should be sort of upwards, angled 45 degrees. Eyes of the elbows together, and you can feel that, right? You can turn your elbow around a little bit. So make sure that the eyes of the elbows are facing. Drop the shoulders down and curl the toes under, okay? Curling the toes under. We're going to now push back with the arms. As we push back, we naturally begin to lift, but we don't want to just come up and straighten the legs. There's no point in that. Many people force themselves into this position, and it's not giving them the best benefit. So your feet do not have to be touching the ground. Your arms, though, should be straight. You should get that ski jump type of sensation between the shoulders and the lower back. So a bit of a back bend in here as well. So as we inhale and lift, if we feel we can start to straighten the legs, slowly begin to straighten them. And even then, only one at a time. You can start to walk them, bicycle them a little bit. I'm just going to come back. I seem to be a little bit problem with my grip. So bicycling, and again, you can let the hips kind of fall, melt down. Let's come into a bit of a hold. So when you're ready, let's take the left leg, lifting. Exhaling down. Let's take the right arm, lifting, and then reaching back to connect with the left outside of the left ankle. Turning your body slightly and releasing, coming back. Same thing on the opposite side. So lifting now, opposite leg. So right leg, nice and high. And exhaling down. Left arm, nice and high. Try to keep the balance in the rest of your body. And let that arm come to the outside of your opposite ankle. Begin to twist the body simply by pushing into the palms, both palms. Good. We're not going to stay here too much longer. Don't worry. We will build up to come into some more standing positions. But for now, remember, let's release. Downward dog is a position of relaxation, bringing the knees down, and let's come into a child's pose. So whether you want to keep the knees together and kind of melt into your thighs or open them and let your belly come down, we're going to stay here for about 1 minute. So find your breath here. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Lengthening your exhale to be twice as long as your inhalation. When you're ready, we're going to slowly begin to walk the hands back and slowly begin to shift the weight to our bottoms. And again, finding ourselves in technically, I guess this is a gas release position, they say. So really feeling the thighs pressing into the belly, trying to lengthen the spine. Finding that playfulness again. We're going to rock and roll into a slam Paschimottanasana. So finding your space, finding safety, finding flow, finding that massage a few times like this. And if you feel that it's not really smooth, try and slow it down and just observe where is your back locking. Because there's a lot of different positions that we can do to target the specific areas of the back. When you're ready on your next inhale, let's straighten the legs and point the toes. Slam that baby down and forward. Bring the knees to the ground, really opening the backs of the knees, lengthening the spine, and rounding the back. We're going to hold this position for 1 minute. Paschimottanasana, as I've said, one of the top 4 of any of the disciplines, whether you are practicing Hatha, Ashtanga, or otherwise. Relaxed but active with every breath. You are lengthening your spine, lengthening your legs by flattening the knees to the ground. And with every exhale, rolling into that soft relaxation. It's about halfway. We'll hold this for another equal length of time. And just let everything melt here. All of your internal organs relaxed, your spine, your vertebrae is lengthening and expanding. All of the pressure is off of the weight of the head. All day we're bopping around like this, just like our whole bodies are just meant to carry around this head that moves around the earth. Well, let's drop that sense deeper into our body. And by relieving that tension that tends to build up in the prefrontal cortex, we can really start to come deeper into our instincts and into our feelings, into the truth of our sensations, rather than that confusion that you might feel, that uncertainty that you might feel. That becomes alleviated once you get rid of it. Who would have thought? On your next inhale, let's come up and slowly all the way back down. As we come back down, let the legs bend. Keep keep the feet open to the outside of the mat, arms out in a T-shaped position, and windshield wiper those legs, so dropping them down. Now, as we drop them down to one side, look to the other side, and really, this time we really want to lift our hips up and look to the other side. Feel all the front body opening. So the front of the hips, the knees, the shoulders, and exhale. Feel that massage on the lower back. Do this nice and slowly, pushing the hips forward to the opposite direction and turning your head. And follow your own breath 5 or 6 times. Inhaling as we come up, exhaling as we come down, and focusing on the space between the breath, the space between the inhalation and the exhalation. That is where our true meditation begins. On your next exhale, let's bring bring both legs up. Let's give a little massage to the lower sacrum. So try to find the edge of your tailbone. How do you do that? Drop the legs down. Where do you feel the edge? Once you feel the edge, just rock side to side, a little bit up and down. And be careful you're not really lifting the small of your back. Push your abdominal muscles down to really strengthen that part. And breathe here. Once you've found the edge, come all the way back and see how far you can go to find the other side of the edge. Now here, some of you will be able to come all the way back into Halasana, which is wonderful. Try to keep the legs nice and straight. If you would also like to come into a deeper position, feel free to bend your legs and come into a deeper Halasana position. Otherwise, if you're not quite able to come back, let's just keep that flow. Keep that movement. So exhaling, dropping the feet down. This time go a little bit further. Try not to use your upper body. This is a massage on the lower back. This is not an abdominal workout. This is a lower back massage because all the spas are closed in the whole wide world. And if you need a massage, you have nobody to give it to you, this is the best thing that you can do. Oh, 1 or 2 more motions here. Now today we're going to come into an inversion. So if you're able to come here, it's going to be quite easy. You just need to bring the hands to the back. Make sure the fingertips are towards the spine. Thumbs are at the waist of the side body. And then slowly, one leg at a time, just start to come up. Don't turn the head, please. Sorry, I should be looking forward. Do not be looking at the camera at this time. Let me demonstrate. If you're not quite there, maybe you're somewhere around here, you don't want to jump. You can, again, put a bit of a block underneath you or a pillow or anything you've got and just hang out there. This is an inversion. Oh, it feels great, actually. See, with this pressure, it's actually kind of nicer than having the legs up because now you really do get the relaxation. Even if you've got a wall, go up against a wall right now, what we want to do here is we want to start to move the blood out of the tips of the toes. I spent some beautiful time with some beautiful people in a beautiful place called Pangnirtung. Pangnirtung is a small village in Nunavut. And it was there that I learned of this traditional Inuit sleeping position wherein they would lift their legs not only to keep the inside of the body warm in those cold, frigid Arctic temperatures, but also, and I can't remember the name now, is it Taranjit? Fast runner?
They are notorious, for being very good hunters, very fast runners. And tell me that's not because of this position that is increasing your circulation, getting the blood back to the core of the body. You can cut off my legs and cut off my arms and I will be alive. I will survive. It's the core of the body that needs that juice, that freshly oxygenated blood. The peripheries are your vampires. Do not let the vampires suck your blood away from the core of your body. It's traditional to finish any yoga class with an inversion to allow the blood, the energy to return to the core, and as well as to return to the brain and base of the spine. On your next exhale, let's release. Start to drop the legs down towards the head or removing the block. Let the hands come out to the side and slowly starting to unravel the body. Let's take the legs up here just for a second, holding them. Just to feel the blood drop down. Do you feel they are cooler? Do you feel there's a temperature change? Do you feel a tingling sensation? Pay attention to what you feel in your feet, in your toes, in your ankles, in your legs. That is the blood returning to the core. That is the prana moving through your body. Such simple movements have such powerful and effective results. On your next exhale, let's slowly drop the legs down using your abdominal muscles, preparing the body to come into our Shavasana position. Closing your eyes, palms facing upwards. Now come into your breath here deeply because we're going to stay in the Shavasana for a little bit longer as I read you a meditation. So coming into your position, stay laying in your Shavasana, breathing deeply, and let me guide you through a full body relaxation. As you bring about a feeling of inner relaxation in the whole body, concentrate on the stillness within yourself. Develop your awareness of the body from the top of the head to the tips of the toes. And at this moment, return to your intention that you made at the beginning of the class, or if you did not, you can make one now. Or if you have not got one, please put our beautiful earth into your prayers, into your thoughts. Allow your consciousness to rotate through the body, taking a quick trip from the tips of the toes to the top of the head, relaxing any places of tension or tightness. Now, if we were alone or had a much longer class, or if you do want to stay in Shavasana yourself, begin to relax from the right thumb, the right index finger, the right middle finger. Become aware of all of your fingers and then the entire hand together as one. Become aware of the palm, the wrist, and slowly begin to work yourself up, relaxing the forearm, the elbow, the bicep, dropping the shoulders down away from the ears, relaxing the right side of the neck. And continue this same process, moving through the entire body, step by step. We are coming into a yoga nidra state
a state of full bodily awareness. Become aware of your breath. Feel the flow of your breath in and out of your lungs. Do not try to change the rhythm. Follow your natural sensation. Become automatic. Now concentrate on the space of the movement of your breath as your belly lifts, your diaphragm drops, your side body expands. Feel the places that are melting into the earth, your shoulders, your hips, your ankles, all of that hard bone tissue. And breathe. If you are staying in this Shavasana state, you may also now to begin to breathe with a bit of a count. So beginning from 27, counting backwards until 1. So as your navel rises, 27, and as it falls, 27. Inhale, 26. Lengthening the exhale as you come down, 26. Follow that same pattern until you come to 1. And should you lose your focus, come back to 27. Until you can maintain focus, counting backwards until 1. And now as you are in a deep state of Yoga Nidra, I bring you through a visualization. Allow your mind to imagine a bright burning candle. A bright burning candle giving heat. Imagine a bright burning candle. Allow your mind to travel to imagine an endless desert. See in front of you an endless desert. And breathe into the space. And suddenly that desert is bombarded by a torrential rain. Imagine the rain falling, beating onto the sand. Visualize that torrential rain turning the sand into a mud. As you imagine the temperature changing, that mud and that rain turns to ice. And imagine that mud ascends into a mountain, and visualize that beautiful mountain with snow-capped peaks. Lifting, rising before your eyes, that snow-capped mountain rising, lifting from the desert in front of you. As you begin to breathe into your body, visualize a bird flying across the sky. Notice and observe what is the color, what is the shape, what is the speed, what is the distance, what is the breed. Just pay attention to the floating movements, the freedom of this flight. And the bird begins to fly across a beautiful sunset. So imagine the colors of this sunset radiating out in front of you, the bird getting lost in the color. Imagine a beautiful sunset coming in front of you. Feel the light, feel the heat, feel the distance between you and that burning orb. Continuing to breathe, seeing the sun set into the darkness of night, and look at the stars above you. Imagine each of those twinkling stars above you. And breathe. You suddenly feel a wind beginning to charge and blow all of those stars from the sky, all of them falling simultaneously as you continue to watch all of the stars falling from the sky. And as you begin to see them dropping down, imagine all of them dropping into the ocean, deeply into the depths of the ocean, perhaps a sizzle as they touch the water. And watch them sink down to the ground, to the base of the floor of the ocean, and breathe and visualize an eternally restless sea. Visualize those eternally moving waves. And just as our waves of consciousness rotate through the body, allow yourself to come back to your breath. Remember, you have a balloon in your belly. With every breath, your balloon becomes bigger, softening the body, lightening the body. As you exhale, releasing any tension from within, develop the neural patterns to release this stress on command. Hold not what does not belong to you. We are living in the age of releasing consumerism, releasing consumption. Why should we consume excess thoughts? Whether they be positive or negative, let them go. Let them float away from you. Let them simmer away and float. Relaxing all your efforts, draw your mind outside, become aware of your breath, become aware of the natural rhythm of your breath, become aware of the movement of the body as you breathe. Develop awareness from the top of your body to the tips of your toes. See yourself lying on the floor. Visualize with your eyes closed or open with a very soft gaze. Visualize what is in the room around you. Lie quietly for a moment, keeping your eyes closed, breath deep, body soft, heart beating to your unique rhythm. And when you are ready, very gently begin to wiggle the fingers and toes. Very gently turning the head to the left side, pressing the ear to the earth and to the right side, feeling the massage along your crown, your skull. Inhaling, arms up, shoulders down, interlace the fingers together, let the body fold to the left side. And inhaling to the opposite side. Coming back to center, bringing the knees in, tucking and giving the nice hug to your body, rolling side to side, making tiny circles with the knees or large circles with the knees, and feel the massage that correlates this movement. When you're ready, coming down onto the right side. Being on the right side will relax the heart muscle a little bit. Being on the left side will help digestion. So while we are here in this original yoga position, take a moment to thank all of those people who have made you who you are today. Take a moment to send your love and light to all of those who are suffering around us. Allow a smile to come across your face, releasing endorphins from the practice, reminding yourself the effects of the yoga will continue long after we leave this mat. And when you are ready in your own time, at your own pace, and when you feel the body preparing to come back up to a comfortably seated position. Allowing the hands to rest comfortably on the knees, palms down. If you have a sense of trust in your knowledge, palms up if you seek knowledge. It's traditional to close all yoga classes by chanting Om together 3 times. If you are not comfortable, enjoy the vibrations. When you are ready, pressing the thumbs into the sternum, feeling the rhythm of your heart, following the rhythm of the universe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Atma Namaste. Remember, you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the emotions, you are the breath, you are the eternal, you are the I am. The only way to find this passage is to breathe. See you tomorrow, 6 o'clock PST.